This single habit almost ruins every teenager's mental space because I see this everywhere. I saw it in my earlier versions, I still see it in my friends. I always see in other people that they think this perfection crap that I'm always talking about is just kind of a hoax, but it seems so real because all of those content creators and those businessmen and those perfect people, our ideals that are leading our lives mentally. And they have such a hold grasp onto our present that we cannot live in the moment and see that, okay, I'm not a perfect individual. I need to, improve myself. But that would take a lot of practice, as I spoken earlier, that I'm not good at speaking at camera, right? So I need to, kind of improve that. But I don't know. The thing is that if you think that my routine messes up equals me getting doomed, that's not the case. You just have to, fail and then relaunch yourselves while remodeling your behavior or your strategy and thinking what went wrong and what I could improve. This is the only best strategy that I could ever know and come across my life, which would make my life much more easier because bro, I cannot get that stress on my head that I need to be perfect. It needs to be perfect because it's life, it will get fucked up, it will get messed up, it would turn to shit, and that's how life is. So you have to become a man and you have to be manly and masculine enough at a mental level that you accept it. And then you just sort of say that, okay, I have this problem. I fucked up a million of times. I know that I would do it 1,000 times more, but I would still keep going, right? You just want to save that mental effort that you do not want to improvise on a situation just because you want to be perfect. So it's just like I would be perfect, then I wouldn't have to do anything anymore. I would not have to do, any more revisions of my work. I do not have to go through any reiterations of my work. I would not be better because I'm already perfect. So, this perfection crap is just you procrastinating on something that doesn't even exist. I'm gonna repeat that again. This perfection crap that you believe in is just simply an excuse that you do not want to work as hard as you should be doing. So let me explain this with an analogy, right? That's not big of a headache for me to explain, and that's not, to be honest, not basically it doesn't take a rocket science to, get this in your head. That a scientist, a rocket scientist, let's take a rocket scientist, that somebody who is studying rocket science, they build a rocket which gets blown up, they're 10 million in the air, whoop-de-doo, a big failure, but they do not give up on their dreams, they do not give up on their mission, they do not give up on their objective, and they try and continue to keep going. If they think that my routine isn't perfect, my years are wasted, this wasted word, this is, I just hear it a lot of time. Even my, you know, I would say my internal consciousness always projects this to my, awareness, the moment where I'm aware that you are not perfect, this has ruined to shit, and what are you gonna do? You just thought it all out, but it didn't turn out your expected way anyways. So what would you want to what you're gonna do? So the thing is that you have to constantly remind yourself that it may not be perfect, but it can be better if I just continue to remodel that. So there is three advantages that this mindset would give you. The first advantage is that it will make your life so much easier. Like, you wouldn't have that additional stress on your mind that you need to have a perfect routine or a perfect mind or a perfect life to start with anything in life, basically. So you would be much more eager to start or pursue your dreams than you are currently right now. Am I right? The second thing is, when you are free of this, problem or distress, you are much more open to feedback because you know that you're not perfect. You need to be better. And for betterment, you always need feedback. So you would be humble, you would listen to people, you would make social connections, you would, gain a lot of experience without wasting your years. That's, advantage number two. And third is you constantly train your brain to solve problems so that once you are successful and the perfect bullshit that you fantasize about, once you're in that stage, you would still have those problems. But since you dealt all your life with mini problems or small problems, your brain is now trained enough that you can work on bigger problems and solve themselves. It may sound, simple, but it's definitely not easy. There's one thing that is simple, and there's the second thing, which is easy. So you always want to choose simple, okay? There might be things that can be simple, but they, they're not necessarily that much easy to implement. They can be difficult, but they're simple to understand. Okay, so I just want to you to learn this thing, not like actually learn this thing, understand, of course. It's not a theoretical subject that you could learn. You would always, fathom that idea or comprehend that, concept by practicing on it in daily life when you would be posed with barriers and you're gonna act regardless, you're gonna perform regardless, and you would not think about any consequences or any criticism that you would get on not being perfect. Because seriously, I understand you want to be perfect but you're not. I want to be perfect and I'm not. So if I am trying, why could not you? With this message, I think that you would get some sort of sense in knocked in your head that you could act in a simple way that would help you in your life. Thank you. Bye.